Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the DeKalb Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on Monday, June 2nd at 6 p.m. Roll call, please.
Becker. O'Flaherty.
Here.
Peony Graham.
Here.
Wright.
Here.
McMahon.
Here.
Chair Maxwell. Quorum present.
All right, we have a quorum. At this point of the meeting, I'm going to ask for an approval of the agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion to accept the agenda as by O'Flaherty, a second by Wright. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The agenda is approved. At this point of the meeting, I'm going to ask for an approval of the minutes from the May 19th, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
We have a motion to approve the minutes from May 19th, 2025 from Wright. Second.
I second.
Second from Pena Graham. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. This piece of the meeting is the public participation portion of the meeting. This is the portion of the meeting where anybody in the audience wishing to speak of something that's not on the agenda is invited to come up to the podium. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public participation portion of the meeting and open it up to new business. The first item on the agenda is a public hearing. It's a petition by the DeKalb CUSD number 428 to amend the special use permit approved by ordinance number 2023-021 to extend the time frame for a modular classroom to remain at Little John Elementary School located at 1133 North 13th Street for 3 more years. Is there a presentation to be had? If you could state your name and address for the record.
Tammy Carson, Director of Facility and Safety Ops for DeKalb School District.
Thank you.
What we're coming before you tonight is we do have a modular classroom at Little John Elementary. It is a 2-unit classroom that currently does not have a bathroom or a vestibule in the unit. It was not available at the time we needed it, and it was approved by the committee back in 2017. We did renew that and extended. It's now been extended all the way up till this date. We had plans that we had hoped to have it removed with the opening of our new elementary school, Mitchell Elementary, in the fall. Due to some special programs that we are planning to keep in that building, we do continue to have a need for it. To give you a little bit of background, we currently maintain approximately 291 students in the school as of the close of the school year, 24-25, and we do plan to have approximately 263 in the upcoming year. The goal with the new elementary is to reduce classroom size, the number of students per classroom, and we are able to accomplish that, but we still need the number of spaces that the mobile unit, the modular unit provides us. The need for the additional space is for student support needs and breakout areas that are needed. We typically will have the music classroom out there, and so it isn't part of our K-5 program, which means that we don't have students that are out there the entire school day. They just go out for music. I believe it's every 3rd day is when they have music class. And then there's other support services out there, in this past year, it's been our STEAM program. So again, whenever they're partaking in the STEAM program, they would go out and use the other half of the mobile. We did, like I say, we reduced from 28 to 25. The primary reason is that we are going to be maintaining a 2-way dual language program at that school. There are only three schools in the district that will have that in the fall. That's Cortland, Founders, and Little John. And to be able to maintain that, we need to maintain the 3 sections of school, meaning we need 3 classes of kinder, 3 of first, 3 of second, 3rd, 4th, 5th. That's where the need is still there. We are asking for it for a 3-year term. That's typically what we go on our modulars, because at that point, we're hoping to revisit it to see if there's changes that we could be making throughout the entire district, which would allow for us to have it removed, or if we do come forth we could be seeking a shorter term, because ultimately the goal would be in time to remove the modular unit. We are getting rid of the unit that came in 2017. At that time, it was a used unit, which is kind of normal in our progress of putting these units in place. But due to the need that was identified that we really would like a unit with a bathroom and a vestibule, that unit is being removed and a new unit would be coming in. And it is a brand new unit that'll be coming in that'll be for our students and staff to use.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there a staff report to go with this?
Yes. As Tammy mentioned, the background of the request, so there was a modular classroom there in 2001 originally to 2011. Then in 2017, the city approved a special use permit, 3-year time limit, 2020. City approved a 3-year extension, and then 2023, a 2-year extension. So, and that ordinance noted that the classroom had to be removed by August 15th, 2025. As noted by Tammy, it's going to be a new building there. Let's picture the current one just a few weeks ago, so that'll be replaced. Same dimensions, 70 by 24, so it won't be any larger. Includes a vestibule and bathroom, as Tammy mentioned. The parking doesn't change. They have adequate parking there. And they have to have annual inspections done by the Regional Office of Education as required in all their facilities. So that has to be done for this, which has been done. So the criteria meets it. It hasn't been detrimental to the surrounding area. Extended for 3 more years with the hope that eventually it'll be removed. But they do have a need for it still, as explained by Tammy. We did receive a few written comments, one from Jason Leverton of 1221 North 13th Street, noting it does not support with the request, noted the temporary nature of the modular classroom, lack of need due to the new elementary school. I think it was explained why they still need the mobile classroom here. Unsafe nature of the classroom and forcing students to walk outside. Also received a public response form from Frederick and Lois Lathrop, L-A-T-H-R-O-P, of 210 Oak Street. They mentioned support for the request. So there's a sample motion prepared that approves the amendment to the special use permit and extends it 3 more years to August 15th, 2028.
All right. Thank you, Dan. At this point, I'm going to open it up to the public and ask if there's anybody that has questions about this, wants to comment on this. Seeing nobody from the public that wants to comment or question on this, I'm going to close the public portion of the meeting and open it up to the Planning and Zoning Commission for questions, comments.
So one of the questions that I had has been addressed about it being a new unit, not used, because I had heard chatter about there being some mold issues in the old unit, and hoping that it was going to be a new one. And then I spoke with Jason Leverton today. He was in the store, and I know him because he's a neighbor and police officer. He and I were chatting about it, and I'm a little bit of the same mindset as him, is hoping to see a more permanent solution for this. Is that something that is in the planning? Because, you know, I have no problem having modular classrooms when they're temporary, but I would hope that if the need still is there, that an addition could be built onto the building, or.
There are options that the district is looking at, whether, I can't get into all the specifics of it,
No.
obviously, but it is something that could potentially come to fruition in the next 3 years. It's, we do have new board members that have joined our board, and so we have obviously would need to educate them to what some of those options have been that the administration has been discussing. What that potentially could do is give us an opportunity to reduce the number of classrooms that are being utilized in the building, and/or potentially an addition at that building or another building.
Yeah, just because, I mean, it seems as if that this location needs a flex space or multi-purpose room that could be used in different ways, whether it's always used,
Right.
or if it's, every 8 or 10 years. It seems like there's definitely a need. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that that was part of the conversation.
Yes, it is definitely still part of our conversation.
Okay.
Okay. How does this new one has a restroom on there? How do you hook up to the sanitary district?
Actually, we already have a hookup on site because in 2011, I believe it was, we had a unit there that did have a bathroom that we had removed, so we were able to cap off, and now we're hooking back in and working with our subcontractors to be able to have our utilities checked in, so we're able to connect directly to it. It pipes back to the school.
Okay. I think you've answered the question. This is the same footprint as the one that was there?
Yes, same footprint, same location.
Okay.
Is this the first time that they've been swapped out for?
In my time in the district, which is 16 years, yes. We have moved one from one location to another before in that time frame, but I do not recall ever having one where we've taken an old one off property and brought a new one in.
Okay. At the, you mentioned earlier about Mitchell Elementary, and was the thought that having that school would alleviate some of the numbers here and kind of alleviate your need for the modular classroom?
There was discussion of that initially when the Mitchell was designed, and we are able to reduce the classroom count, which is what we were hoping to do, from 28 to 25 students in the classroom. But then the decision was made that we wanted to keep the two-way dual language program at this building because of the neighborhood that it is in. A lot of those students are walkers to the school, so they don't have to be bused. And that was one of our goals with opening Mitchell, is to have more students that are close to their home. And to be able to keep that, again, it has to be a 3-section school, and to have a 3-section requires a modular unit to support it.
I would note too, there's a mobile classroom at Brooks School that the commission approved 3 years ago. That's being removed this summer. That's correct.
Yes.
Okay. Any further questions? Does anybody want to make a motion on this?
Yes. Make a
Glasses on.
motion. Based on the submitted petition and testimony presented, I move that the Planning and Zoning Commission forward its finding of fact and recommend to the City Council approval of an amendment to Ordinance 2023-021 to extend the time frame of a modular classroom to be located at 1133 North 13th Street, Little John Elementary School, as shown on the attached Exhibit A, subject to the following condition. The modular classroom may remain on the subject site in the location as shown on Exhibit A up to August 15, 2028, and shall on or before said date be removed from the property. At such time, the surface beneath the modular classroom shall be restored to a pre-installation grassed condition.
There's a motion on the floor from Wright. Is there a second?
I second.
Second from Pena Graham. Roll call, please.
O'Flaherty,
Yes.
Pena Graham,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
motion passes.
All right.
Thank you.
Good luck. The second item under new business is another public hearing. So we're going to open up another public hearing. This is a petition by Michelle Eckfritz for the approval of variances to the Unified Development Ordinance to allow a 6-foot-high privacy fence in a portion of the front yard along South 7th Street for the property located at 626 Spring Avenue. Is there a presentation from the audience? If you can come up to the podium and state your name and address for the record, please.
My name's Michelle Erkfritz. I live at 626 Spring Avenue in DeKalb.
Thank you, Michelle.
My main reason for wanting the fence that would go up to the end of my driveway, especially on the corner, is that 7th Street tends to be very busy with cars literally speeding up and down. And some of those drivers, while I am out doing things in my yard, like to either slow down to almost a crawling pace or do laps around the block to see what I'm doing. When I first moved in 2 years ago, I had my dog on a chain in my yard, and about 11, 12-year-old girl got to the edge of the sidewalk while my dog was at the end of her lead barking at her, and she was trying to take pictures of my dog. I walked out and just let her know I wouldn't get any closer. My dog can be a little testy around new people. And most recently, one of my neighbors let me know that somebody had parked in that second little gravel driveway that I don't really use to take pictures of a trailer I have sitting in that spot as well. And they were taking pictures of that trailer while I wasn't home. So the main reason is, privacy and safety, not just for me and my dog, but for the community as well. Being on the corner lot, my lot is actually a lot narrower than other corner lots in the city. And having that additional space, so between my house and the street, there's 25 feet of space there, and I'm only asking for 14 feet. Just to cover the span of my driveway to make it easier to get from the house into the yard, as my house does not have a back door. I have a front door and a side door, and that's it. So trying to get into the fenced-in portion, if I did it according to ordinance, it's a lot harder. And getting my elderly dog, who is 12 years old, safely into the backyard without that extra 14 feet would also be difficult, and it's more feasible to put in the fence than it would be to put in the fence and a back door on my property so that the dog could safely get in the backyard. Other things, having the fence according to the ordinance limits the ability to enjoy the privacy and safety of my yard. As I stated, I can be simply mowing my yard and people will slow down, or if I'm having a fire in my fire pit area with friends, they do laps around the block. I've seen several times while trying to just simply enjoy my yard. I've got a beautiful big yard that I don't feel comfortable being out there just simply because people feel the need to slow down and observe what I do. I understand people are curious. I'm a curious person as well, but it borders on semi-creepy. I'm a female. I live there alone with my dog, so safety and privacy are a big concern. Because of the where I want to put the fence, it doesn't disrupt the view from the corner at all, any more than having my car parked in the driveway would. It doesn't disrupt the sight distance triangle at all. Like I said, if my car's parked in the driveway, they're not going to be able to see past my driveway anyways. The stop sign is more at the corner, so people do have that line of sight. And so it wouldn't cause any safety issues or traffic issues at that corner either.
Very good. Are you finished?
Yes.
Yep. Is there a staff report for this one?
Yes. Yes, as a follow-up, very good, Michelle explaining the request. So it's a corner lot, and the ordinance would allow a 6-foot privacy fence, which she'd like to do, at the setback line here in line with the house. As noted, she wants to put the fence 14 feet into that yard next to South 7th Street, leaving about 11 feet to the edge of the sidewalk. The fence would start at the end of the driveway here, go to the back, along the south side. There's an existing chain link fence to the neighbor's property, so no fence there. Then just connect the house to the property line. So that's the variance. I think the biggest thing I noticed right away, the width of the lot is very narrow compared to other lots along the west side of South 7th Street. In fact, there's no lot narrower than any other between Taylor and Fairview. So you can see the other lots that do back up to 7th Street, a little bit wider. Even down here, they're wider lots. So very narrow, kind of limits the ability for that rear yard. So she's going roughly halfway into the yard, not the full way. Visibility, there's no, here's a sight distance triangle, it's 25 feet back from the intersection, not interfering with that. I took a picture, it's not, I can't guarantee 100% accurate, roughly where the fence would be, but you can see that's plenty of visibility there for that, so it's not impacting the surrounding neighborhood or public health and safety. So they meet the findings of fact. I think the big thing was the width of the lot compared to the neighbors was very narrow compared to the others, so that does leave not a whole lot of area for additional a rear yard. We did receive a couple of, actually 3 written comments. 2 just came in after the agenda was posted on Thursday. Katie Poole, resident at 630 Karen, which is right here, noted support for the variances, had a question on the visibility from Rodeo, so I did respond back noting that sight distance triangle, that the fence would not be in that, so she was satisfied with that. And then since then, and copies provided to you, we got a letter from the owners, operators of the larger commercial industrial building right across South 7th Street, 1292 South 7th, noting support for the fence variance. And then also just received this morning, actually, from the neighbor to the south, Mr. James Duck, 1307 South 7th Street. Did not object to the fence. He had a concern about the fence being built correctly. I did call him and mentioned that Michelle's going to do the work herself, not a contractor, but I mentioned if homeowner does it, that's allowed, or a contractor, they still have to meet the same requirements in terms of the code. There's a minimum 42-inch post hole. You got to dig that deep and have the post holes in it. It's inspected by one of our city inspectors, so that's all checked out. So I did call him and went through that. They still have to meet the code, so he was fine with that. So his email and my response was provided to you. And that's all the written comments we did receive. So we do recommend approval. There's a sample motion that is prepared.
All right. Thank you, Dan. At this point of the meeting, I'm going to open it up to anybody from the public that wishes to speak on this matter. Is there anybody from the public that wants to speak on this matter? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public participation of this portion of the public hearing and open it up to the planning and zoning commissioners for questions and comments. You did a very nice job
Yeah.
presenting it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You went through the finding of facts, and I think you do have a hardship. You're gonna install this fence yourself?
Yes, I've got coworkers from work who are very excited to come help me. They actually volunteered to come help me.
Cool.
Very good, very good. All right. Any questions? Seeing no questions, does anybody want to make a motion on this one?
Can I borrow yours? Sure. Okay, I'll do it.
It's easier to read.
Yeah, yeah. Based on the submitted petition, testimony presented, and findings of fact, I move the Planning and Zoning Commission approve a variance to Articles 7.06.3, 7.06.4.b, and 7.06.6 of the Unified Development Ordinance to allow a 6-foot-high privacy fence in a portion of the front yard along South 7th Street for the property located at 626 Spring Avenue, as shown on Exhibit A of the staff report dated May 29th, 2025.
There's a motion on the floor from O'Flaherty. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second from Wright. Roll call, please.
O'Flaherty.
Yes.
Pena Graham.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
McMahon.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Good luck. Okay. No more new business on the agenda. We're going to move on to reports. Do we have a staff report?
Yes, next meeting, June 16th, we have a fence variance, another corner lot, 2324 Monticello Drive. It's a case where he has an existing fence put up prior when we changed the ordinance, so it's replacing existing non-conforming fence. So that's the only agenda item at this time. The council did approve the special use permit for the Hopkins Pool at their last meeting. They also had a discussion on the consideration discussion, no action taken official, on the consumption on-site cannabis at dispensaries in the city. brought up by XL Leaf on Locust Street. So they were generally in favor of that. There'll be a text amendment prepared, and there'll be a hearing in front of the commission regarding that in one of the July meetings, so. there'll be
So the
more
XL Leaf
information
will have to
coming
come back
forward.
here,
Yeah, it's got to amend the UDO to
Okay.
allow such a thing.
and then we have to make the motion and they go back to the council from here?
Yes.
Okay.
But they want, council wanted a general discussion about it to see if they wanted to
More
go
in favor.
forward with it, so.
Mhm.
So you'll see that in July.
Very good. All right. Any reports from the commissioners? Seeing none, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion to move from Pena Graham, second.
Second.
Second from Wright. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Good evening, everybody.
Look at all the minutes and see Wright did all the
Yeah.
motions to adjourn was right.
Right.